Greetings everyone, Cell here. Subscribe to this perfect channel and follow Geekdom on the social media platforms. That will be all.
Previously in Toyotaro's Dragon Ball Super manga, specifically chapter 24, Goku was duking it out one-on-one with Zamasu and doing surprisingly well. And this was mostly due to the fact that Goku had discovered how to contain his divine energy and allow his body to maintain high levels of power and a high throughput of power while essentially mastering Super Saiyan Blue. And Goku was doing this because in the manga version of Dragon Ball Super, which is very different from the anime, and every month we find out more and more just how different it is, the Potara fusion of Zamasu was not permanent because Zamasu had never been fully graduated into being a Supreme Kai, and thus he had the 1 hour time limit just like a mortal would. Now, I for one have been very critical of Toyotaro's writing in the past few months. I haven't been too happy with what he's done with the Super manga as far as the story goes, but one thing that's unquestionably consistent is how good of an artist Toyotaro is. This manga chapter, along with every single other one, has some amazing artwork. The dude is a beast when it comes to putting that pen down and drawing Dragon Ball in the Toriyama spirit. And that really makes the manga much more enjoyable. Now, picking up where we last left off in the last chapter, Goku is actually really doing well against Zamasu here. He's pummeling this dude, hitting him with some hurting bombs. And it's crazy to think that a singular character could do so well against a fused character, but hey, that's just the way it is in the manga. But I really think we should take a moment because the first few pages of this month's chapter are just complete great art, great badass fights from Toyotaro. So even if we're not too big on the story, the combat and the way he draws these fights is amazing, and honestly it's worth the price of admission if you ask me. So Goku's doing the best he can, but remember, Zamasu is immortal, so it's not gonna work. This guy's gonna keep coming back. And there's this really awesome panel where Zamasu rips off his freaking shirt a la Goku to show off his bulging muscles, and he's like, alright, time to get serious, which is a total throwback to how Goku would do it back in the day, and I like how Toyotaro threw that in there. This was actually pretty cool, I thought. And as the fight goes deeper, it looks like Goku's having trouble maintaining that blue energy inside of him, but then he remarks about having a special technique that might do the trick, and Vegeta says, okay, this could be his final chance. We find out that Goku is shifting the blue aura into his fist. But Vegeta reveals that Zamasu's having a similar problem because even though he's immortal, he might not be able to cope with all that power, and thus his energy is overflowing out of his body. And as a result of that, it's going to be a burden in this fight. Basically, what that means in plain English is even though you're immortal does not mean you can't get tired. See what I'm saying? So these two guys literally charge at each other in one of the most epic scenes that Toyotaro's ever drawn. This manga chapter is going to get points just because of how incredibly badass it is. So Goku says, sorry Beerus, but I'm going to have to use one of your moves, your most dangerous move ever, and that is of course the Hakai, the destroy technique. This came out a few days ago, and it's interesting because in Dragon Ball Super, the anime, episode 95, we found out that the gods of destruction can let mortals borrow God Ki, specifically Hakai, god of destruction energy, or destructive energy, whatever you want to call it. You can give it to a mortal to use. But in this manga chapter, it appears like Goku again, Toyotaro's manga only, not in the anime yet. I don't think it's going to happen in the anime, but in Toyotaro's version of the story, Goku can use the Hakai. He somehow figured out how to use it, which means that in the manga continuity, which is not the same as the anime canon, the Hakai can not only be borrowed, but actually be learned by a non-god of destruction. Very interesting stuff. I'm okay with it. I hope we get a better explanation in the future about it though. So Goku does the Hakai and manages to blow off like half his face, but in classic 1980s professional wrestling heel style, this dude creates a portal and pulls Mai in front of him so that Goku won't complete the technique. This is such a throwback to classic wrestling, and I have a big smile on my face that Zamasu's such a chicken shit that he did this, dude. This is awesome. So this distracts Goku, allowing Zamasu to hit the cheap shot and nail Goku, but Zamasu's looking not too good right now. He looks all discombobulated. Kind of reminds me of like Majin Buu and Janemba when they're battle damaged. And this does not look pretty, man. But he quickly regenerates. So Zamasu's about to kill Mai. Trunks tries to stop him. He makes quick work of Trunks, but just as he's about to kill both of them, suddenly the time limit is up and they unfuse. But things take a very dramatic and very strange twist. So it turns out that unlike when Goku and Vegeta unfused, the fusion of Zamasu is refusing to undo. In other words, for some reason their bodies have become bound even at the cellular level, and Zamasu and Goku Black are fighting the defusion. And then suddenly, as C Reacts would say, wha-bam! Trunks comes up from behind and slices this piece of crap in half. Yeah! And then Trunks stabs this dude right in the back. The Dragon Ball Super manga is so much more violent than the anime. It's incredibly fun. But guess what? It's not enough. Goku Black blasts Trunks and gets up with the sword right through him. But wait a minute. Goku Black wasn't supposed to be immortal, that was just Zamasu. So then something really weird happened. So apparently Goku Black transforms into Zamasu, and then suddenly the Zamasu that was the half of the merged Zamasu transforms into merged Zamasu. So we now have two merged Zamasus. This is very strange. Very, very strange. So now we have two fused Zamasus teeing off on Trunks and on Goku, and this is enough to set Vegeta off into a rage. And he unleashes a tremendous Final Flash. This Final Flash is so tremendous that he literally rips Zamasu's body into pieces. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Dragon Ball Super manga is so violent, you don't ever get these kind of disembowelments and body parts being ripped and blood and stuff like that. You're never going to get this in the anime. Toyotaro has tons of creative freedom when he does the manga, so if you want a more violent version of Dragon Ball, the manga may satisfy your needs. So Vegeta's gigantic, ultimate Final Flash puts this dude to rest, right? Right? Nah, I don't think so. All of the different body parts of the two Zamasus, or Black or merged Zamasu, whatever, start to slowly regenerate themselves and create individual, multiple merged Zamasu bodies. So now they have to deal with an army of immortal merged Zamasus. Give me a break. We've seen Majin Buu do something similar to this in the anime way back, but now we're seeing it again. And now we have to deal with a whole plethora of ultimate merged Zamasu, immortal, fused, very hard to kill, maybe impossible to kill villains. And that is the cliffhanger for manga chapter 25. So I do believe that chapter 26 will be the end of this arc. I don't know for certain, but I do believe that to be the case. We heard that it was going to end in the summertime. But as far as chapter 25 goes, I loved it. Honestly, I had a lot of problems with the way Toyotaro was taking liberties with the story in the past couple of months, and I had way less issues with this manga chapter versus the previous months. Here, everything was tied up very well. There weren't too many story beats that made no sense. There weren't too many things that kind of left me scratching my head. Everything was pretty solid, even though the idea that because this guy's immortal, he can retain his fused form, if not multiply it, is a brand new concept to Dragon Ball we've never seen before. And I didn't really have much of a problem with it. I'm sure some of you guys do have a problem with it, and that's fine. And it is something that's exclusive to the manga, but it really didn't bug me so much. They're stacking the deck against Goku and Vegeta, and if the manga is going to end like the anime, then that of course means that the Zeno button will have to come into play at some point. But overall, I enjoyed reading this. The combat scenes, the artwork from Toyotaro was literally top notch. This had 2, 3, 4, 5 of some of my favorite pieces of art that I've ever seen from Toyotaro. And like I said, the story wasn't as annoyingly changed as it has been in previous months. So let me know, what did you think? Did you enjoy this manga chapter? Do you think it's improving? Or are you just waiting for this damn thing to hurry up and finish the Trunks arc so we can move on to the next story arc in the manga? Let's get together and discuss this manga chapter down below in the comments. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.